Hey, I'm Andy from the Ultimate Trivia Podcast.
The Ultimate Trivia Podcast.
Our show is pretty simple. 5 lifelong friends competing on a single topic to see who gets bragging rights. Each episode, Nick, Scott, Brian, Kelly, and I battle through 10 questions on movies, music, science, history, sports, whatever we decide to throw in the blender for that week. Every episode stands on its own, so you can jump in wherever your curiosity takes you. And we don't just stop at right or wrong. We get into the backstory, the origins, the weird facts, and the stuff that has you saying, how did I not know that already? So download an episode, play along, keep score, and tell us how you do. See if you can beat the crew on the Ultimate Trivia Podcast.
Just looking back at photos of myself online when I was like 11 or 12 on like red carpets and stuff, I'm like, oh, that hurts. It's just funny. You don't usually have your awkward face televised.
Welcome to Story and Craft. Now, here's your host, Mark Preston.
All right, here we go, back again. Another episode of Story and Craft, and you're here for it. So thanks for stopping back by. It always means a lot to me. And hey, by the way, if this is your first episode, welcome. We're going to have some fun today. Strap in, get ready. Today, sitting down with the very talented actor, Natalie Alyn. You know her. She's been in the Goldbergs, the show Big Sky. Now she's in the Taylor Sheridan universe, the Yellowstone spinoff, Dutton Ranch. Knocking it out of the park. She plays the character Oriana. She is, if you've seen the show, just lights it up. She does a great job. Now, I do have to tell you, though, we did speak about the show a little while back before the show actually came out. So we were kind of talking about, how much I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I got to admit, I'm many episodes in now, so I'm really enjoying it. I didn't really watch Yellowstone. I want to go back and watch it. Everything else Taylor Sheridan has out, love it. Just haven't had a chance to check out Yellowstone. But loving Dutton Ranch. Good stuff. Natalie was just so much fun to talk to. She is very, very talented. Do me a favor, if you would. It would mean a lot to me. Some people checking out the show on YouTube, even though we're audio only, some people still do. If that's you, do me a favor. Follow Story and Craft and like the show. Leave a comment. Always cool stuff. Helps people to find the show. Also, if you have any other kind of podcastimification going on, Spotify, Apple, whatever, we're on all of them. So please follow the show. Notification every time a new episode comes out comes right to you. Also, go to storyandcraftpod.com. That way, you can just kind of hang out, learn about all of our past episodes, past guests, everything about the show. It's right there. All right, so let's get into it. I enjoyed this chat. Natalie is super duper charming, and really enjoyed the opportunity to sit down with her, as you will as well, because today is Natalie Alyn Day, right here on Story and Craft.
Hi,
Natalie. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Oh, we got a little participant there. What kind of pooch you got?
I have a multi-poo. She's 17 years old. I've had her since I was a baby. She's a little bit rough. That is the first peep. I have been doing press stuff since 10. So that was the first peep that she's made, which I'm really proud of.
That's
I'm
cool.
like, okay, go back to sleep. I feel like a mom trying to put my kid back to sleep. Like, it's nap time, kid. Let's go.
Yeah, our little guy Ranger, he's a 2-year-old golden retriever, and he is still, and he's in that adolescent phase. And we live on an island, and there's a beach right there, so they use my street to get there. So he posts up on the sofa looking out the window all day long, and whenever somebody comes by, especially dogs he finds intriguing, he has to bark. So if I let him stay down here, he would have been like really involved in kind of everything we're doing. And
what island do you live on?
South Padre, very tip of Texas. Did y'all shoot in South Texas, the Dutton Ranch, or did y'all shoot somewhere else in Texas?
We were in Fort Worth. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, living on an island in Texas sounds incredible. That's so cool.
I call it my tropical Mayberry, because it's got like 3,000 full-time residents, but when there's spring break or something else, the island like I don't know how many people are here, but it's pretty great. I mean, I got an airport right down the way if I want to go somewhere, but here it's kind of like I work out in my studio. I'm all good. And so
I wish this podcast was in life. I would have come down and visited you. That sounds amazing.
Hey, you're always welcome. We've always got some kind of cold beverage stirring around here. So
I love it.
But no, what did you think about shooting in Texas? Because you're in LA, but you wait, you're an LA and Canadian kid, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I was born and raised in LA, and then my dad's side of the family are from Canada, so I'm half Canadian. I'm a dual citizen. And then my mom, she's an actress, so we kind of grew up on the road. We never were in one place for very long. So no, but I mean, Texas has my heart, genuinely has my heart. As soon as I was able to adjust to the heat during the summer, especially at night, going at like 2:30 or 3 in the morning and still have it be 94 degrees. That's it's a hard thing to adjust to. But I mean, my mom, so she did a TV show in North Carolina, and there's just this Southern hospitality that comes with being in the South. And it's like, it's so interesting because even in the time that I was there, I think we ended up filming for 8 months. I became best friends with everybody in my neighborhood, which is just something that doesn't happen very often.
Were you in Fort Worth proper, or were you kind of just outside? Like,
so I made a couple changes throughout production. We changed housing locations a couple times, but I was, for the majority of it, I was living on a lake called Lake Worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, loved Lake Worth. The only thing that I did not love about it, I had no idea that there were alligators in Texas.
Whoa. Well,
yeah.
I just learned something also. I didn't know there were alligators out that way.
Yes, a ton of alligators that used to come like right up to the property. Like our neighbor would have them in his yard. So it was a fun summer of looking at the lake. I did not go swimming in it. That was something that I didn't want to risk, especially because they would come up onto the property. But no, I mean, Texas is it's just, first of all, so gorgeous, but the people that live there are so incredible. I made so many friends that were not associated to the show, just like people that I was meeting at restaurants. The food is so good. Best barbecue I've ever had in my life. Like,
really? Did you go to, was it Hard 8? Did you go there? Hard 8 barbecue?
Hard 8. My favorite was Panthers, though.
Okay.
Panthers was so good.
I'm a Dallas kid, so I grew up in North Dallas. So Fort Worth, when I was growing up, it was like all the way over there, but it's not that far. But it's definitely a different feeling. I think that Sheridan captured it in Landman. I think he got a real good snapshot of the Fort Worth vibe and all the suburbs, and it's definitely different than Dallas. Did you make your way over to Dallas at all, or?
Yeah, and I absolutely love Dallas. So our house, like one of the main locations that we work on the show, the 10 Petal Ranch, that actually films in Ferris. So we were driving like at least like once a week. We were going up to Ferris, or I mean, a couple times an episode. So we ended up spending a lot of time in Dallas. But I actually did a pilot in Dallas back in 2017, and I absolutely loved it. And it's so cool to see a city build and grow, and being able to come back to the city and go to the spots that are still there and try new spots. Yeah, I mean, I could not have gotten luckier location wise on this show.
Texas is wonderful, but we have the worst PR in Austin with our legislature and government down here. They don't they don't do very much for the tourism, I will say that. But what's really cool down here is SpaceX. We get to watch the 5 miles south of me is where they send the rockets up. So it's kind of fun to stand on the beach, have a margarita, and watch a rocket take off. It's kind of fun.
That sounds like a perfect Saturday night.
It's something different, certainly. Now, I just realized something. I just spoke with Megan Rath, and she's from Canada also.
Okay.
So you're the second. I have
Canadian.
1.5 Canadians, in the last few
1.5.
weeks. So.
Yeah, I'm half, but I have my Canadian passport, so I take my Canadian roots very seriously. I love being Canadian.
What are your thoughts on poutine?
Like my favorite food of all time. Genuinely
Really?
my favorite food of all time. There is nothing, and I did a TV show in Canada. I was a regular on a show in Canada, and I swear to God, poutine was my main food group for most of that filming. And it was during COVID. So there weren't a lot of like going out options or going to like different restaurants. So it was a lot of ordering in. And most of my nights ended with poutine. And it's so fun when like a lot of Americans don't know what poutine is. It kind of like has a weird name, I would say, a little bit like poutine. I don't know. I don't know what I imagine when I think of that. But the thing about poutine that is so important are the cheese curds. You have to make sure that they're real cheese curds, because if you just it's completely different with just random cheese, and people that have not had poutine will never understand that until you have it. It's like that rubbery, like flavorful bite in that's just, it's probably one of my favorite foods.
Yeah, I say this all the time. Anybody who listens to the program regularly, I always end up chatting with folks right before I have something to eat. But today I had something kind of healthy, a little yogurt and banana, but I'm sitting here thinking about crispy French fries and cheese and gravy now. So it's like, now I need my cholesterol fixed.
Too. So one of my fellow Canadians just started a poutine truck that's starting in the States, and it's called Smokey's. Oh wait, it's not called Smokey. It's called Frenchie's Poutine. And he's from Quebec, and his name is Kevin, and he's starting to bring poutine from Canada down to the States. And he just had his first food fair and it went so well. He went and just started, and everybody's like, poutine, what is this? And then there's no way to mess it up. Every ingredient in that dish is absolutely perfect. So the three of them combined, we could just like take the rest of this time and just go over poutine.
Anything that comes out of a truck just tastes better. So how was the growing up split between Canada and LA? Like what years of age were you in either location?
I mean, it wasn't even, it's so interesting because like my dad's a producer and an AD and my mom's an actress. So it wasn't even the split between LA and Canada or LA and anywhere. It was so spread all the time.
Okay.
My two younger sisters are also actresses, and we got into it pretty young. It was something growing up. We always used to watch my mom act, and it was just like this incredible thing where she would play these different characters and she would go into hair and makeup, and it was so glamorous. And she was on a show called One Tree Hill when we were little. Yeah. And there was like a role that came up on the show, and it was for a kid that was supposed to be like 5 or 6. And my mom told me that was happening, but she didn't want to go to the producers and just have them offer it to me because she wanted to make sure that I like was decent. She didn't want to be like in a nice way, but I don't think she wanted to be embarrassed by like bringing her kid to set and like getting her a role. So she made me audition for it. And my last name is Lind and her last name is Woods. So I ended up booking it. And then she was screwed. Like after I had like a little taste of it, I've just always had such a passion for creating characters and being on set. And that passion has never gone away, and I still feel it the same way as when I was 5. But yeah, I think that when we were younger, we tried public school, but then the deeper that we got into acting, they kind of like kicked us out because we just were never attending. Like we just could never go.
Well, is that something that was? Did you feel like you missed out on something because you didn't have the traditional, all the things, school and prom and all that kind of stuff, or were you really digging the lifestyle of being able to be more mobile?
I mean, I think that there's always these like, grass is always greener. But for me, I never felt like I missed out on anything in my life. I've been so blessed in my career and in my life with my family and just the opportunities that have been given to me. And it's fun too, because there's so many times where I've either like played a high school student. I mean, I grew up on a TV show called The Goldbergs, and I was playing a kid in school. So like we would have the lockers, and like the team there like let us create our own lockers that we would keep our stuff in. So I always had elements of it. And I'm so grateful for my life path and the things that have happened. Even my friends when I was growing up that went to Calabasas High School, they let me go to their prom with them. So I still got to like pick apart like the best parts of the high school experience. But no, I mean, it was also when we were younger, we were just going through school so fast that we graduated so early from just having that one-on-one time with like either a teacher or our mom, that school was always really fun for us and we really liked learning. And I feel like that's something that some kids don't get sometimes. I don't know.
It's funny. My youngest daughter was very much, she's 20 now, and she's very much like a COVID kid, and I think that studying online, in fact, she goes to school in Boca Raton, but she dropped her only in-person class, and she's like, everything else is online, and that's easy for her. So she just came back here and is doing everything online. So I think it's different, maybe generationally, maybe especially kids that went through COVID, because that was so wacky. Of course, you mentioned the Goldbergs. How many years was your run on that show?
The entire time. I came in season 1, and then I'm like trying to think right now of what our last episode was. I think it was after 2020 though. I'd have to like pull up specifics. It feels like such a major part of my life that like thinking about when it ended is so bizarre. I started the show when I was 13, and it was one of my first roles that was very consistent on one show, because I had worked on different shows here and there. But it was such a cool show to work on. And it was just amazing because I would do other shows in the off time, like in between. So
Right.
I would be filming another show in Atlanta, or I did a TV show in Nashville, and then they kept on having me back. And that entire cast and that crew, everybody stayed the same, and it was beyond family. Like, it was a chosen family that people decided to stick with. And it was such a fun show, and people loved the show so much. And I genuinely get recognized from that show more than anything that I've ever done. And it's so funny because I was so little on it, and I look back on it, and it's like, it's so interesting as like a child actor to watch yourself grow up on TV. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
you can,
I was just thinking about that. Because there'll be, years when you get older and you look back and you're kind of trapped in amber as a certain age.
yeah,
And I always wonder what that's like for folks who've really kind of logged a lot of years in the business to look back and you're sort of always that age to some people. You're kind of not typecast, but you're kind of locked in their mind, maybe to a special time. Maybe there was another 13-year-old maybe grew up watching that show.
yeah.
But that's a pivotal age to start something, and you get used to it. It's part of your life, and something like that ends. It's got to be a kind of not a shock, but it's got to be an adjustment to make.
That show, me and Sean on that show, we had our first kiss together on that show. Like, it was written that we
Really?
kissed. So like, there's so many different influential parts in my life that I experienced throughout it. So it's like funny when I watch it specifically, where it's like not necessarily something that's happening with my character, but I can see an episode and it'll be like when I was 16, or it'll be when I was 14. And then I just like get this pit in my stomach, and I'm like, oh my God, that was that time period. And it's so interesting, and it's so cool. And I feel so lucky to have these moments in my life that I can go back and watch at any point, and I can just like put myself back into that mindset, because you can
Well,
just
do you ever do
yourself.
that? Because I know some people don't. Once they make something,
They don't watch it.
I understand it. Harder to watch it. But do you ever go back? Is there anything that you do occasionally go back and watch? Because that's sort of like a time capsule of because what was going on at that time when you were making a certain episode or what was happening in your life. So it's a little different reference point. Can you watch the stuff you've done, or are you kind of like, nah, not so much?
I do to a degree. I mean, for stuff like that, specifically like the Goldbergs and stuff, I think that more often, I mean, it's just playing all the time on TV. So like more often for that show specifically, I'll just turn on the TV and it'll just be on, and then I'll just get a little peek into it. But I think like going back to other projects that I've done in the past, it's not something that I typically do. Like, I don't like sit down at the end of the night and I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch this right now. But I think it's a little bit sad, or if there's like a moment that comes up, it's like, it's really funny to me, friends that I have or family members that I have that will send me clips and say that I'm watching something right now. And I always find that really cute. But no, it's not something that I like will like sit down, like I'm going to watch season 3 of the show that I did when I was this age, like all the time. But it's really fun when you just turn on a TV and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, there's 13-year-old me. That's really cool.
I don't know if I would want to watch 13 years. I would get all awkward all over again. I was
Such an awkward kid too. And it's like, but it's like, it's fun because you also see yourself grow. So it's like, it's fun to embrace those like smaller parts. And also I mean, the only thing about being a child actor is that everybody goes through an awkward phase. So just looking back at photos of myself online when I was like 11 or 12 on like red carpets and stuff, I'm like, oh, that hurts. But it's just funny. You don't usually have your awkward phase televised, and seeing yourself in those positions, it's like that kind of cringe feeling, but I've learned to embrace it.
Well, at least you'd have like wardrobe and makeup and stuff. For me, if I was looking like my 7th grade yearbook picture, I'd be like, hey, no, I don't want to see that every day, But so did your mother, did she start off when she was a kid as well? And did she have insight on that? Or was she kicked off her, acting thing more of as an adult?
Yeah, no, my mom was she's the only actress in her family. So it was something that when she was younger, I think that she was like the head cheerleader and like loved drama, loved all this stuff. And I mean, she made the courageous move of after high school and college ended, she wanted to be an actress and and it's so hard, especially without that guiding light, which we've been so grateful, me and my sisters, to have as for my mom. And just hearing her stories about she was born in Chicago, so she's from Chicago, and she started in theater out there and improv. So she really worked her way up and did what a lot of people sometimes have a hard time doing. So I'm so inspired by my mom in so many different ways. And I'm just really grateful that she kind of navigated the paths and has given us information and advice that we wouldn't have naturally had. But yeah, no, she's incredible.
Your sisters, in fact, I was just watching, was a Babysitter Killer Queen the other night.
Oh,
And so I was watching it with my daughter, Emma, and we saw, of course, Emily. She took a turn in that. She was fun to watch because she was just off the hook. Aren't you working on a horror project right now that's yours? Is it a horror project or is it comedy or is it a comedic horror?
We got them both. Yeah. So during this strike, there was a time period where work had ended and I just got off of a horror movie and I was just kind of I'm not the type of person that can sit still ever. I hate sitting still. I love doing stuff. And I think I was just in bed watching a movie and I was like, why don't I produce one? And then the next day I kind of started getting into producing. And I had this director, his name is Shane.
So you hadn't done that before? That you had not actually kind of, because a lot of folks do that. That's their entry point into doing stuff. They make their own stuff to kind of start off.
No,
but I mean, that was your first time.
It was my first time. And also I'm such a horror fan. So this movie I keep on saying is like my love letter to horror. And I've been a fan of horror since I was little. Instead of Barbie dolls, I used to have Michael Myers dolls. Like it's been something that's resonated for a very long time. And for me,
we got to stop there. They made a Michael Myers doll.
Yes, there's like the little figurines that you can get.
Okay.
I had one that was Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees. I had a Chucky doll. Like I was a weird kid. Like I really like dark stuff. And for me, like I always felt like I'm missing like that nostalgic feeling that used to get from horror in like the late 90s or like the early 2000s, stuff that's really fun to watch and it's slasher and you're just either laughing or scared, or it's that feeling of being in a movie theater on a date for the first time. And it's like that movie that you remember. So there's so many different references and there's so many different points that we pulled from movies that I absolutely loved growing up. But yeah, I mean, it was genuinely the decision of wanting to do it and then just kind of making it happen. Our director, Shane Dax Taylor, who's awesome, brought me this script and we did a ton of changes on it. And we, every single cast member is one of my friends or it's somebody that I know really well, through another close friend. But, our cast is so talented. It's been the most incredible experience, just seeing a project through from day one to the last day. And now every day since I've been back from Texas, we've just been on an editing marathon of just trying to get this done.
What do you think about that? I know some people that love the editing process. For me, editing, I'm too much of a perfectionist. So I just kind of like, you get decision lock. You know what I mean? Like you can't really, so what do you think about editing, that process?
100%. I mean, it's interesting because like growing up on TV and growing up in movies and stuff, like you don't really understand why certain decisions are made. So I have a better understanding on why certain takes can't be used. And our editor and our colorist and our composer, and our visual effects guy, like they're so talented that I respect, and our director specifically, I respect their decisions so much that there sometimes is just like a question, especially knowing the genre so well, of wanting to make sure that the integrity of the film stays and like there's not too many different ideas. But it's been a blast. I mean, for me, learning any new skill is something that I value so much, and being able to see I have a new respect for every single one of our actors to see like different takes, because sometimes you're in a scene with somebody and you turn around and you don't see what they do behind your back,
Right.
So there's so much value in just being able to understand every single aspect of this industry, and the fact that I was able to have this experience is just incredible, and it taught me so much.
Steven, we need to tell people about Nice Games Club, our game development podcast.
Okay.
You know, the one where we talk programming and design, but also how games fit in our culture?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Mark, what else can we say?
How about how we
have more than 400 episodes in the archives? We've interviewed folks behind Monkey Island,
Baba Is You,
Opus Magnum,
and more.
if you say so.
But you two also make games, right?
Speak for yourself, Lydia, but also yes.
So we don't just talk about the industry, we also talk about the games we're making.
Yep.
That's it.
Nice Games Club. Listen at nicegames.club or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Halloween Store, right? That's the name of it? Halloween Store?
Yes.
Okay, look,
Yes.
nowhere on the call sheet is there the last name Lind besides you. So was this a point of contention with the sisters? Oh, here you are making your thing.
They were too busy for me. They were both working. Trust me.
Okay.
That was something. So, I mean, I've definitely talked to them because it seems like a lot of people really like the film, which I'm so excited about. Like, making something and then having positive feedback on it is just I don't think I ever fully understood what a feeling of gratitude I would have in my heart and how great that would make me feel for somebody else to like something that you make.
Mhm.
And it's so different when you're producing and you're on the backside of it. Like I'm so happy when people like jobs that I've done acting wise, like when you like a character, but the fulfillment that you get when it's a project that feels like this project feels like my baby. But the two of them, so Allie was filming Wayward and Emily was filming her show We Were Liars. So the two of them weren't available during our shooting time, but I've talked to both of them, and I feel like if I do some convincing, I don't think it will take a lot, but I want them for the sequel.
There you go. So that's very cool. So do you have a tentative ballpark release time window that you want to get this out?
So our trailer and our posters are going to be dropping probably middle of May, towards the end of May.
Oh, so
And then-
soon. Okay.
So I've already seen everything. I'm so excited to drop them. We've been working on the trailer nonstop. We just have a couple little tweaks to do, and we're going to be releasing those middle of May. And then the film is up in the air still, and I don't want to say a specific date just so that it's not out there, but I'm hoping this year sometime. Specifically,
very cool.
like a Halloween movie. I'm hoping Halloween, like around the Halloween time.
You know, I was just looking, and you were. I'd never had an opportunity to see it. There's so much stuff. I always say this. There's so much stuff that I haven't seen. I'm just now catching up on some shows that were out like 10 years ago. So eventually, but the Tell Me a Story. I noticed, and he came up, somebody spoke with last time, Billy Magnuson. Did you work with him at all, or?
No, so that show, I mean, that's one of my favorite shows I've ever had the opportunity of working on.
I know it's more of an anthology kind of a thing.
So yeah, it's so cool because every season it's a completely different idea, and they're all kind of fairy tale-esque based. So my season, I think his season was definitely Little Red Riding Hood. I forget the other two that were in their season, but my season was more princess based. So it was Beauty and the Beast, Sleeping Beauty, and Cinderella. And my character is like a Taylor Swift level pop star, and a fan tries to kill her. So she gets burns on 70% of her body. So that experience and working on that show was incredible. They flew me to Nashville a month before filming, and I had to record an entire country album, and I'm not a singer. I had to sing for the audition. I actually ended up singing one of my sister's original songs. My two sisters are very talented singers.
Really? Okay.
I will do it when I'm asked, but it's not something that I will say that I am one. But no, it was with the singing aspect of it and then the prosthetic aspect of it every single day, one of the coolest roles I've ever played and one of the coolest experiences I've ever had.
I don't do a ton of research. I just kind of skim, see what, things you've done. And I know, so it's oh yeah, you were that, and Odette Annable was in that. Actually, one of the few things that I did was I actually did a scene with her, and there was something called Astronaut Wives Club that was out about 10 plus, I don't know how many years ago at this point. It was supposed to take place in 1963, I think. And they had her in the dress and the hair. I was like, man, she was it was almost distracting because they made her look so lovely in that scene. And then I, had to have but no, she, I think they live in Texas also. So just, everything comes back to Texas eventually,
Dave's on Lioness, and he was on the original Yellowstone. So now, again, it's just more paths crossing. It's such a small world. It's so cool.
I'm curious with Dutton Ranch. Was that something that they said, hey, Natalie's out there, let's talk to her, let's get her? Or was this your classic going in for the audition and callbacks kind of a situation?
This was such a whirlwind because I put a tape down for it. And I just automatically I fell in love with the character. And then it was just a process that I didn't hear back on for a second. And then all of a sudden I got a phone call and it was, you're flying to Texas. So I flew to Texas and I tested for the show. And on my way home, I landed. They told me that I booked it. And they said, you have like
Really?
2 days, go and pack all your stuff. You're leaving for 6 months. Such a whirlwind that it was almost hard for me to catch my breath. And I don't think that I realized that I was doing this until I was at cowboy camp sitting on a horse in the middle of Texas, that I was like,
Well,
what
did they
just
do that
happened?
at his ranch? That is it like six, like 4 sixes or something?
The ranch out in Fort Worth is the Bosque Ranch. Bosque.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Because I thought he has
Yeah,
another ranch where it was
he
like,
does.
I don't know when Taylor Sheridan sleeps. That's the thing. Like for him to have the batting average he has across the board, and like, it's funny. I was talking to, there was a fellow named Jim Lampley, did a lot of sports anchoring for different, like the Olympics and stuff. And we were talking, and he said he usually has a once a week phone date with Taylor. And kind of fast forward, I said, one of the things, kind of from the outside, unless you watch the shows, you don't really know, is in every one of his series, all the women are kind of have chutzpah.
They run the show.
Yeah, they're the kind of the beating heart. If you look at even like a landman,
Yeah.
they are really the backbone of, I think, the stories in a way, and so that's across all of his stuff. And I asked, I have never spoken with Taylor. I really want to though, but I think he's doing 1 or 2 things. But when I was speaking with Jim Lampley, he said, well, you know why? Because he had a great relationship with his mother. And that was a key relationship. And so he sort of celebrates through
Mm-hmm.
the screenplays, the ladies. And if you look at every one of his projects, of course, even Lioness, but and one of my all-time favorites, my older lady crushes. Oh my God. If I have to remember a name, my brain farts. She was 1823.
Helen Mirren?
Helen Mirren. I mean,
Yes.
one of my favorite quotes of her, from her is, and I knew she's meant for a Taylor Sheridan show when I heard this quote, that she said that somebody says, looking back on your life, what is it that you kind of wish you did more of, or any not regrets? She's like, I wish I would have told more people to fuck off.
Yeah.
I was
That's
like,
a great comment. Oh my God. I have not heard that out of her. That's hilarious. I love that. I mean, it's like all of these characters, I feel so lucky to be a female in this universe. He knows, like, I don't know, there's such an empowerment that comes behind all of these female characters. And I'll say too, backing off, like going off of the same idea as Taylor's mom, Taylor is married to one of the most incredible women I've ever met in my life. Her name is Nicole Sheridan. And if you were looking for the definition of a badass, it is that woman. There's nothing that she can't do. And she is such a great just person to look up to. And the way that she handles her business, there's so much happening in their lives. And the way that they've been able to maintain such a happy at-home environment, and they're so present with each other. It's like, needless to say, both of them are such powerhouses, and they're so independently successful individually. And I think that Taylor takes so much of the influence from his wife and his mom and all the powerful women in his life. And for Beth specifically on the original Yellowstone, it was one of the first times that I really feel like a character became so iconic from genuinely just feeling powerful.
Well, plus she was also the narrator of the show. Yeah. She was the kind of the soul of the show, which I thought, you look at Taylor Sheridan, you think machismo, guys, boots, horses, Old West kind of you can't really put Taylor Sheridan in a box. His stories are not as clear cut. And I think that, like, even Michelle Randolph, you see her in the show, you think she's going to, in Landman, you think she's going to be, all right, cute cheerleader kind of, but there really is, there's soul, and you get to see that,
Michelle plays that character so well. And she's just become like America's sweetheart she's just such a talented actress. And her and Allie just are so impressive on that show. But it all stems from a place of just, I think, really great writing, like really, really great writing. And it's the capability to understand the human mindset and realizing that all of the characters that come from a place of power also have this immense sensitivity to them. And they're all rooted from somewhere that's really real. And all of his characters have these dynamic backstories. And I don't even think that a lot of the viewers will even understand how in depth some of these backstories are that are given to us before we start the show. Like for me, I know my character since she was born. I know everything like in my mindset just from material that I was given and ideas that I was given. And that's how I feel these characters are humanized, that it's not just basic on a page. There's so much more that goes behind all of them. And for this show specifically, it's the next chapter of the Yellowstone universe. And it was really scary to go on to it because fans are such Beth and Rip diehards and such Yellowstone diehards that it's always a little bit tricky to create a new story that revolves in the same universe. And what I like about our show so much is that it is so different than the original, but it still maintains the same integrity and heart and rawness and emotionally driven character, like everything across the board. It maintains the heart of the original while creating an entirely new universe.
I watch and enjoy thoroughly everything Taylor Sheridan's done. I have not watched but an episode or two of Yellowstone. I know it sounds odd, but it's like life. I just haven't had a chance to really catch up. Now, can you jump into Dutton Ranch without having seen Yellowstone? I know you won't appreciate it the same way, but can someone just jump into it and,
100%. This entire story is so different that, I think that as a fan of the show, it means so much more when you have seen the original because you're able to relate with these characters on levels that just watching it for the first time, you wouldn't be able to. But there's no need to watch the original to be able to enjoy Dutton Ranch. And if you've heard, I think that even at the point now, if you haven't seen Yellowstone, you've probably heard of Beth and Rip, and they bring that energy so well that you're just kind of immersed in it from the first episode for Dutton Ranch. And you definitely do not need to see the original. I would suggest that you do because it's such an incredible show.
Oh yeah. You
don't have to by any means.
It depends like how different generations engage with certain actors. Some, with Cole Hauser, a lot of people, Yellowstone, for me is Dazed and Confused. That was my first Cole Hauser experience.
Yeah.
Now, because I don't like to give things away at all. I'm a big, big fan of not giving spoilers, but can you say how you fit into the story and the storyline, like where you fall in, or is that discussable?
I think I can. Again, I'm new here. So like the last thing that I want to do is give away any spoilers and be like the one that like messes things up for anybody. But I am Oriana Jackson. So I'm playing Annette's granddaughter. And we're part of the Jackson family that kind of overlap paths with Beth and Rip. And we come from a very crazy dysfunctional family that kind of set Texas on fire. And that's all I'm going to say. I think does this take place in, because I know Yellowstone took place in Montana. Am I correct? Yes.
Okay. So is this taking place in Texas?
This is taking place in Texas, but
okay,
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave it there because I don't know how much I.
Oh no. We'll leave it there. Yeah. There's nothing worse than when anytime somebody says, "I don't want to give anything away," but anything that follows the word "but" is giving something away usually.
I know exactly. No, but it does take place in Texas, and that's something that they're publicizing a ton. So I'm not afraid to say that, but I'm not going to say why it's taking place in Texas.
So what was it about Texas culture that you needed to kind of adapt to, or felt like, like when you went to Nashville, you needed to be a country singer, right? So was there something in Texas was there something culturally, was there something even in the wardrobe, the music, the food? What was it that you kind of got you into it? What was your on-road to being a Texan?
For me, like I said, I spend so much time in the South. I'm a huge country music fan. So the music is something that I was already adjusted to. And I just love, and there's such an amazing country scene down in Fort Worth, specifically in Dallas as well. I think that cowboy camp was the thing that really got me in the mindset of the character. We were training on these horses for the first week when we first got there, and it was me and all of my co-stars. It was the first time meeting them, and there's something so grounding of just being horseback in the middle of a field in Texas when the sun is beating down on you. It feels so grounding. And it's the first time that I felt like my character, and I'm so grateful for that experience. And for cowboy camp, it's not just something that they do for show. Like we're not learning how to ride horses for the camera. We're learning how to ride horses to be cowboys. And I had some cowboy horseback riding experience, but nothing to this degree. They were teaching us how to cut, how to rope, like how to saddle, how to saddle.
So they weren't just trying to get you used to how, feeling comfortable on a horse. They needed you working. Okay. I gotcha.
So we learned everything. And throughout the show, the trainers on the show are just some of the best people I've ever met. And they're real cowboys and they work their asses off every single day. And they have some of the most talented horses that we've worked with on the show. But it was just like adjusting into the character. And I think that cowboy camp got me there. And I think that specifically with my character, she's so empowered with the way that she presents herself and the way that she dresses. And she's very fluid with her sexuality and uses it when she should and takes it back when she shouldn't. So it's the moment that I put on my cowboy boots to go to work every day and my Daisy Dukes. I was like, okay, I'm Oriana now.
Okay. So we're doing Daisy Dukes in the jeans. Okay. So I see I see. So you were a little on, would it be a stretch, say, possibly sassy?
I think sassy is putting it very kindly.
Okay. That's the kindest adjective I can pull out. But so you're so in other words, I'm trying to remember, God, I think it was, so I talked to someone who was in 1883 and it was 1883. Yeah. And they were talking about the hat, like some of the stuff, I think Taylor wanted he wanted them to kind of select some parts of their wardrobe. What about your boots? Did you have any? Because boots are kind of a personality thing. Did you have any input on that?
Oh yeah, our wardrobe designer and the entire costume team behind this show are so talented, genuinely so talented. And I mean, it was the hat, it was the boot, it was everything. And their understanding of like the Western female style is just incredible. And it's so different than like the realistic version of it is so different than the like fashion side of it, So my character kind of falls in between the two where everything that she wears is authentic cowboy.
It's functional. Yeah.
It's functional, but she looks good doing it. Like they know how to do that middle ground and really appreciated that. It's funny too, if you mentioned the cowboy hats, one of the rules during cowboy camp and anytime that you're on the horse is that if your hat flies off while you're riding, then you have to buy all of the Wrangler's beer. And that happened to me a couple of times because I have a really weird shaped head. So I had to bring some beer and some twisted teas for all the cowboys a couple of times.
Twisted tea, man, that came out of nowhere. I can't remember if it was LaMonica Garrett I spoke with or Billy Bob Thornton. I can't remember. It was one of the two of them that mentioned the hat. And one of them got a hat and it was not the right size. They're constantly having to tend to the hat, But I went to the University of North Texas first, and I transferred to Texas Tech. And I noticed one thing out in Lubbock as a city kid. That's where a lot of city kids go to play country. So the way they dress is not the way functional on a ranch dress, So it's, all the shirts are very starched and, there's a whole get up, and it's different when you're on a ranch, you want boots that look like they've been worn. And that kind of a thing. But my daughter is real into country music, and she's the only one of my kids that is. And she wanted her boots, and I think she even has pink boots. I think she has.
That's so cool. I love it. I love that.
You said you're into country music. I got to know like your top 3 or so folks who you're.
Chris Stapleton is one of my all-time favorites.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Zach Brown. I love Bailey Zimmerman is like one of my new favorites.
Yeah.
I can go on and on. We just went to Stagecoach, so we saw Ella Langley. I'm just trying Riley Green, who is on Marshalls now. We got a private performance for him at David Glasser's house, which was incredible.
Really?
Yeah, it was so fun. It didn't even feel real. It was so exciting.
I know my daughter is a big Zach Bryan fan, and so it was.
Zach Bryan's awesome.
He started off during COVID and doing the stuff at home and the YouTube, like a lot of people. And I spoke with who was I spoke with? Warren Zeiders, I think is another guy I spoke with who. COVID created or let some acts kind of showcase because everybody was on YouTube, but Zach Bryan, he's Yeah,
So
much
talented.
respect to him. I'm a big Jimmy Buffett fan, so he kind
Oh
of
yeah.
he's one of those guys carrying the Jimmy Buffett torch, I think.
Last year we saw Willie Nelson at Stagecoach. Billy
No,
Bob did a set at Stagecoach this year, which was super
and the
exciting.
Boxmasters.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he can sing. But he has got a fun stage presence. I dig his
Don't
thing. You know,
he can't do. It's so impressive.
no, but you're the only one of the Lynn sisters who don't sing. Okay, so does
I
Emily?
actually have a country album through this show, which is so funny, but it's not something that I would call something that I'm trying to pursue. I can do it. I can do it for a character, but I don't think I'd ever do it individually. It's just me.
Well, which one is it, Emily or Olivia, that's got the singing chops in the family?
Both, and they're both so talented with instruments, and they're impressive guitar players. Both of them are just beyond.
Yeah, Olivia, she was in my kids always loved like Adam Sandler movies like 50 First Dates, and Blended. She was so much fun in that movie. She was a little thing. And then she was in that, was it Daybreak? There is a lot of chutzpah in the Lind family. A lot of y'all have a lot of, y'all can hold your ground pretty well. So I can see how this is a natural progression for you to do it in cowboy boots.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's all about just like testing yourself and doing new things. And I think that the benefit of being an actor is being able to play pretend all the time. And that's why we love it so much. I feel like it's so funny because we all grew up in the industry together, and it's like so crazy that for our entire lives, we've just been playing dress up, and we're so grateful for the roles that we've gotten and being able to see them grow as actresses and do it together. We could not be luckier.
Well, I'm curious, you've done a lot. And now you're getting into producing, and you get your dad you can tap into on that. But what is for you that you've done that you really want to get back to? You want to explore it again, or maybe something you haven't done, either a role or working with someone in particular, or taking on a certain responsibility. What is it that's on the bucket list for you that is a North Star that you need to do?
I think directing is next. Directing scares me. In the way of, I only like to do stuff if I feel 100% confident with it, especially when you're dealing with a film crew and you have people that are there working. But I mean, I have had so many insane, incredibly talented female directors that I've been able to shadow throughout the years on different shows. And Christina Veros, who is our executive producer, DP, director, she is just such a powerhouse. And seeing her throughout all of these shows, it inspires me to do what she does. So having influences like that have definitely given me the directing itch. I just have to stalk her a little bit more and watch her work.
Now, before we get running, I always do something I call my 7 questions, kind of on the tail end, just a little extra fun.
Let's do it.
I love your enthusiasm. You were my hero today. I love that.
I love it.
The first question I always ask, because I talk food at least once. It's a mantra of mine. I got to talk food because that's my jam. But what's your favorite comfort food? Whether it's something that if you had a bad day, it elevates you. If you're having a good day, it just kind of adds to it. What is that for you?
I love ramen. Ramen is my go-to, and ramen or poutine. Poutine is a really good. That's a very valuable runner-up. But ramen, my favorite.
Now you're talking about real deal ramen, like from a ramen joint. You're not talking about store-bought ramen, right?
No. I'm talking about real ramen.
God, that sounds so good right now. I've not had that or
I know,
pho in so long.
I'm
Now, next question. If you're going to sit down for an afternoon, you're going to sit down and talk story with 3 people. Now, living or not, who would you love sitting at that table with you, talking you and the 3 of them for hours on end? Who would that be?
I think the first one would definitely be my grandfather that passed a little bit before, like I think I was like 13 or 14. So I have such fond memories of him, but he had such an incredible history that I feel like I never got to talk to him in depth before he passed away. And being able to sit down and kind of like hear some of the stories from an adult perspective would be incredible.
That's the thing that I think I have the same feeling of my grandfather, because there are things as you get older that you think, I'd like to know this. I wish I knew back then to ask this question. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely my grandpa. I would say another one would be Leonard Cohen. might be very interesting because he had such just a crazy life path. And just like getting to know about like exactly what happened in the Chelsea Hotel would be very interesting. And then I would say I am a huge Owen Wilson fan. This is like the most random table of all time, but maybe Owen Wilson.
It all comes back to Texas, you know.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know what it is. Since I was little, I've just always been a huge Owen Wilson fan. So maybe
I think he's wonderful. I think he is kind of his own universe. I was listening to Mark Maron talk about that show they're doing, the golf show. God, the name escapes me. Owen Wilson is just. He's one of those guys, if he's in a movie, you're going to see it. You got to see the movie. You know, there's only a few guys out there like that. But in fact, I think he's a Dallas boy like me. So, you know, again, bringing Texas up. Now, when you were growing up, who was your very first celebrity crush?
Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And I'm just going to be completely transparent. It's not like actually embarrassing. It's just so random. One of the first red carpets that I ever went to, I got asked who my celebrity crush was. And my answer was Pitbull.
Really?
And
okay.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I just like wasn't like, I don't know if that was just like the first person that popped in my head, but I have to just like say that as my answer because it was like one of the funniest videos that I get sent to me all the time now.
How old were you though?
I was like 10. I don't know why I was like thinking of like Pitbull as my celebrity crush. I don't know what was going through my brain, but I'm just going to say that as my answer because I think it's like a recurring joke now.
Pitbull. There you go. Okay.
Pitbull,
So that's the first Pitbull I've gotten. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to be, next question, if you're going to be living on an exotic island, beautiful, you want to be there. It's amazing, but there is no streaming. So if you want to listen to music you're going to be there a whole year, by the way. You can only bring one CD to listen to over and over, or a box set I'll allow, or a DVD and a DVD. So you'll have something to listen to and something to watch, but something you can watch over and over again. What would that CD and what would that DVD be?
I think that DVD would be the original Halloween. I think that's a movie that I grew up watching, and that's kind of like my nostalgic movie that I'll just like put on at nighttime. I put scary movies on at nighttime because I'm just a little weirdo. CD, I'm trying to think. I mean, this is going to come like, honestly, a movie that when I was younger, I saw with my mom. And it just brings me back to such a nostalgic, fun time. We went and saw Mamma Mia. And anytime that like we want to get into the mood for like a party, or I don't know, when it's me and my sisters and my mom, the thing that we can relate on the most is just singing the Mamma Mia soundtrack, running down the beach. So I'd probably bring that just to like feel that sense of home.
Plus you're singing, you know, you can participate at some level. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Now, the next question, if you were to say from the time you get up to the time you go to bed, what would be the ingredients, the component parts for you of a perfect day? What would have to be there as the component parts to say, this day was perfect?
I would say I'm a huge camping person. So I would say waking up in a tent with my dogs and my family and some of my closest friends, then probably getting up, making some breakfast over a campfire, then going whitewater rafting and being on the water all day, then coming back and cracking some beers and just like being on a float and floating for the rest of the day, then ending off the night roasting some hot dogs and sitting by the fire and drinking some whiskey and going to sleep. That's like a perfect, absolutely perfect day for me.
I have not camped in so long, and we have, once you get about 5 miles north of me, and there's nothing but sand dunes running for at least 10 plus miles. And I told my daughter, I said, man, we've got to find some way to go like camp. I think it'd be so cool to camp just kind of on the, like near the beach, you know, a lot of people do it, but it's
so nice, especially on the beach. So nice.
A little fire under the stars. Can't beat it. Now, if I was to say to you, okay, Natalie, you can't act anymore. You can't do anything within the movie, TV ecosystem. What for you would be a number 2 in terms of a vocation? What else would you do?
When I was younger, I was in marine biology camp, and I was so fascinated by it when I was young.
That's the second marine biology answer I've gotten the last few weeks. So,
oh my God, okay, marine biologist, win.
Absolutely. Now, the last question, if you were to jump into that DeLorean and go back to like when you were 16, you got a few minutes with you. to offer a piece of advice or guidance to make that moment somehow better, or to put you on a little different trajectory, what would advice to 16-year-old you be?
I would say not to care so much about what other people think of you. I think that for so many different parts of your teen years, you grow up thinking that you want to conform to the person to your right or to your left. And I found myself doing that so much in my teen years and in my kid years. And I look back and I'm like, what was I doing? Why was I trying to be somebody else? Why was I trying to like fit into this little box that people create because I thought it was cool? And I think that I finally found my footing out of that probably around 17. But for the beginning stages, it was, you're always just trying to be somebody that you're not, or you're trying to conform into the idea of what like a perfect girl should be. That, and also just like, don't grow up so fast. Enjoy, because it happens so fast. Like you think about it and then all of a sudden you're like, time is here and time is there. And like, you think back to when you were 18 and then it's like, oh my God, that was years ago. But yeah, I think that
it's funny. It's funny you say that because, you know, I know I'm a Southern gentleman. I was told never ask a lady her age, but you're 25?
25, turning 26.
Okay, 25. That was for me. It's funny you say that transition point, because that's where I sort of felt like I locked in. You know, I kind of have a real good sense of who I am and where I'm going and why I want to do the thing I'm wanting to do. And I'm confident in that. But at the same time, it's funny when you say don't care about what other people think. That is the most common thing people say. And I'm wondering if that's for creatives, if that is something that just kind of hums in the back of your mind, that when you're younger, you just inordinately care too much what other people think, when ironically they're not even thinking about you usually, you know, that kind of thing.
100%. And I think it's that weird transition period, specifically with this generation with social media, because so many people put their lives online, but it's not real. So you have this like kind of twisted narrative of what a perfect life should look like. But even the people that present themselves of having perfect lives online, it's still not perfect because it's not genuine.
It's so like reality TV. Reality TV is not real. It's just, it is script. And the same thing with social media. I mean, I say if I didn't have to do it related to what I do for a living, I don't know if I'd be as engaged. I think it's wonderful for certain things, but I think going forward it'd be good if kids didn't have access to it until they turn later teens. You know, I think it's better for their mental health, especially for young ladies, I think.
Now for me with AI, it's so funny. Like I'll send my boyfriend or like different people videos, and then I'll get like messages back going like, you know, that's not real. And I'm like, what is real then? What is happening? What is happening in the world?
Yeah, and you feel so duped. That's why I'm not AI is a great tool, but not as a creative thing. But hey, real quick before we get going, what's coming up next? Besides, of course, looking at the Halloween store, what do you have in the? Is there anything in the can that's going to be coming out, or do you have anything you're going to be starting up on? Or
in the process right now, I'm not going to say what projects they are, but I'm in the process right now of actually producing 2 other films that I am not in. So I'm definitely wanting to venture down this entire producing rabbit hole more and more every day. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And I'm really excited about these other 2 projects that I have going on. And
you need to direct. That's the thing you're talking about, is directing. And I'm telling you, Texas, there did some tax breaks here. All I'm saying is we have an island here. It would be a great excuse to get a tax break, shoot, and hang out on an island, you know. So.
I'm there. You let me know when. I'm going to start putting together the project now.
It's funny because I talked to Jimmy Buffett's daughter, Delaney. You know, she had a film come out, and they said, "Oh, you're in Padre." He's like, "Yeah, we almost shot there." I was like, "Really?" Because I don't audition anymore, really, because I'm kind of, enjoying what I'm doing right now. But she said, "Oh, we almost shot there." I was like, well, "Why didn't you?" She's like, "Well, we got a better deal in Biloxi, Mississippi." I'm like, "Well, nothing against Biloxi, but Padre, Biloxi, to me, it's an easy choice." But if you're ever down here, reach out. Most certainly,
I will visit 100%. That sounds incredible.
Well, tell you what, Natalie, I've really enjoyed spending some time with you, and I appreciate you sharing that time. I know you've been crazy busy with you and the puppy. The puppy wants to hang out with you, and here you are talking to another person here. So
no, this has been so incredible. Thank you so much for the conversation.
No, it's more than my pleasure, and looking forward to seeing you entering the Taylor Sheridan universe. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing you in cowboy boots.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to come and visit soon.
Well, there you go, Natalie Alyn. She is a lot of fun, loving what she's doing on Dutton Ranch, playing Oriana, and all the stuff she's done. Of course, again, you know her from the Goldbergs and Big Sky, and, she's just a talented actor. So are her sisters. They're a lot of fun, too. My next guest, I'm not going to tell you who it is, not going to let you know yet. She has a movie coming out, but she is also on Dutton Ranch. So it's Dutton Ranch week right here on Story and Craft. There you go. Anyway, Natalie was a blast. I really enjoyed the opportunity to just kind of sit down and talk with her. And it's neat to talk to folks who work on Taylor Sheridan's projects because he's just so doggone talented. Again, Paramount Plus, the network, Dutton Ranch, the show. Watch it, enjoy it. And of course, if you're a fan of Yellowstone, you probably are already knee-deep in it. Okay, so I'm going to get on out of here, but before I do, super quick, small request. Please grab your podcast app. I don't care. You're on Spotify, you're on Apple, YouTube even. Please follow the show. Helps us out a lot, especially if you like an episode, like the show, leave a comment. Helps people find the show. So you're holding on. The phone is right there, or your computer, whatever you're listening on. Just go ahead and do all that, Show a little love because I appreciate it. And I'm going to send you, right now I'm sending you a big hug. It's an awkward hug, but I'm sending it through the speakers here, or earbuds or whatever you're listening on. Okay, so also you can check out the show, storyandcraftpod.com. Everything you could possibly want to know about the show, it is right there. Past episodes, past guests. Go in and check it out. And I'm going to get on out of here. Again, more Dutton Ranch love coming up here in a couple days. So I will see you very soon. And as I always say, thank you very much for making what I've got going on here part of what you've got going on. It does mean a lot to me. And you go have a safe rest of your day, rest of your evening, whatever you have going on. We'll see you in a couple days right here on Story and Craft.
That's it for this episode of Story and Craft. Join Mark next week for more conversation right here on Story and Craft. Story and Craft is a presentation of Mark Preston Productions, LLC. Executive producer is Mark Preston. Associate producer is Zachary Holden. Please rate and review Story and Craft on Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. You can subscribe to show updates and stay in the know. Just head to storyandcraftpod.com and sign up for the newsletter. I'm Emma Dillon. See you next time, and remember, keep telling your story.
History is full of bizarre, unsolved mysteries. And over time, these stories have been bent by rumor, warped by social media, and twisted into legend. I'm Michael May, and on A Study of Strange, we dig into these real mysteries and seek the truth, as close as we can get anyway. Recently, we've covered true crime cases like the Greystone Mansion murder, the Red Lipstick Killer, and America's first reported serial killers. Of course, every now and then we also dive into the odd, esoteric, and paranormal, including vanishing people, haunted locations, and UFO history. So if you like your mysteries historical, or if you love a good debunking every now and then, search A Study of Strange wherever you listen to podcasts. And remember, the truth is always stranger than fiction.